Jagannath ki, Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki, Jai Gaur Nitai ki, Jai Prabhupada ki, Jai. Hare Krishna. So now, you've already done a bit of it. Now carry on the preliminaries. That's quick. I have an acronym chapter. So what we're going to do now, as many of you are quite familiar, is we're going to, there's one, as we mentioned, one candidate this evening is for Nam Diksha and one for Mantra Diksha. So for Nam Diksha is traditional, that we change the neck beads. So here a new set of neck beads. Somebody perhaps, does anyone in a dhoti clean? Sachinandam Prabhu, you can change them, or someone can change them. On Keshava Prabhu, there. Wonderful. On Vaishnav from Blacktown, Shamtown. Near. Now they've moved to what's it called, Rouse Hill or somewhere? They've moved out of Blacktown to Rouse Hill. You've got to rouse the holy name in Rouse Hill. You've got to make the holy name loud, heard every home and town in Rouse Hill. So today he's very fortunately coming forward, Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet, to take another step towards that eternal constitutional position. You wonder if we could somehow come quicker to that position. It's still a little bit conditional. This is to help us to get out of the material condition. And Prabhupada would describe these neck beads as like a dog collar. Now he has his dog collar, okay? I mean, it's a very long set of beads. They're very long. I think they're custom made, I think, is it? Custom made in Vrindavan, maybe. They look like it, they're really long. You'll have to grow a thicker neck. Maybe they should go see your tongue. You're strong tongue. No problem. I like to keep them a bit loose. No problem. 3 strands of neck beads of initiation. Whatever helps us to become, to say, always close to our spiritual master, always close. Where then they need garlands too, the priest and the 2 candidates. Well, candidate first. No, you don't do that. Someone else has to do that. I'm getting married. Yeah. And have you done the Achyuta already? Yes, you did Achyuta. But we didn't explain it earlier on. Nanda Maharaj took us through the Achyuta, which they're familiar with. First the priest, the nicest garland is the priest, which is the best one. They're all good. There you go, one for the priest. Yeah. And one each for the priest. And then there's another mantra. Did you take them through that? Om Matavitra. Om Matavitra Bhavitra. Okay, so they did it. We didn't hear it. So all together. Om. Om. Apavitra. Apavitra. Mitrava. Mitrava. Sarvastam. Sarvastam. Viva. Yaksmaret. Mudrikaksham. Mudrikaksham. Gantara. Suchihi. Sri Vishnu. Sri Vishnu. Sri Vishnu. Only then they do the Rachana, but it's different ways. Everywhere you go, there's different orders there. Everywhere. It doesn't matter. The principle is the same. The principle is that. What does it mean? What does this mantra mean? What does it mean? Who knows? More or less, anyway. More than less, rather. More than less. Who knows? I'm sure some of you do. You may be a bit shy. You know, Vrinda? You haven't got Google Guru with you today? Every time I ask a question, she sits behind somebody and suddenly answers. And right in front of her is Google Guru with all the answers. Very clever. So what's the meaning of this? We sometimes chant a lot of things, don't we? We don't always know what they mean, right? And half the time we don't know what on earth we're singing. Some sorry, I don't know. Some are sorry. Whatever it is. Don't know what we're singing, right, in the morning? It's good to know a little bit what we're singing, at least, or what we're doing. Even the Maha Mantra, we forget what we're doing. We're just mumbling away there, chanting something or another, getting it out of the way as quick as we can, right? Totally unconscious of what we're doing half the time. And it is, I mean, I'm talking to myself here because I need your help to try to wake up. No joke. You may think it's a joke, but it's not. It's a reality. We need reality checks sometimes. Go 50 years and still we're not serious. So this is good to know what we're doing, what we're chanting. So this particular mantra, which you may not chant unless you're doing puja. If you're doing puja, you chant it every day. Means that even whatever we are, pure or impure, whatever a condition, if one remembers that Pundrikakshana, lotus-eyed Lord, even though he may be, you could say contaminated condition, if we remember that lotus-eyed Lord, then one becomes pure inside and out. The meditation on the lotus feet of the Lord, especially Nityananda Prabhu today, for many years of faithful service here in Sydney, is accepting the responsibility for mantra Diksha Brahminical initiation, which may not change anything for some people necessarily, but it's supposed to help us to go deeper and more serious in our focus on the lotus feet of the Lord, through daily worship, cooking, and different other services, taking on more responsibility. That meditation on the lotus feet of the Lord, according to Lord Kapila Dev, it destroys the mountain of sin within our heart. There's a beautiful verse in the Bhagavatam which describes how Lord Shiva is automatically auspicious. Shiva is another meaning, he's auspicious, already auspicious. Becomes even more auspicious. Why? Because he takes the water which has washed the lotus feet of the Lord, the Ganga Jal, the water from the Ganges, he takes it on his head. As most of you know, when Ganges enters the universe, Lord Shiva takes it on his hair and then disperses it through the universe. It becomes all the more auspicious because of that water has touched the lotus feet of the Lord. Therefore that water, meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, is the most auspicious, purifying meditation. And Prabhupada describes how that meditation on the lotus feet of the Lord, just like, and it says, just like the thunderbolt of Lord Indra smashes mountains to pieces, huge mountains smashed by his thunderbolt to shreds, into dust. But that meditation on the lotus feet of the Lord acts just like the thunderbolt of Lord Indra, which smashes mountains of sin within our heart to pieces. So it's powerful. We may not, visualize, appreciate, remember, whatever, but this is the process. And meditation, Srila Prabhupada writes, on the lotus feet of the Lord in this age of Kali. He said it means meditating on the holy name. Very words. The Sankirtan movement. The lotus feet, Prabhupada said, the lotus feet of the Lord appeared in this age of Kali in the form of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. His praying Sankirtan movement. So to become absorbed in Sankirtan is the literal manifestation of this principle of meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. Can you hear me?
Yes.
This microphone is kind of, I don't know if it's sliding down or not. I don't think it's working. like that. So, Sankirtan. And we will be having a request during the yajna this evening that throughout the yajna there will be a sweet kirtan going on to the side throughout the yajna. And we'll be reading a shastras throughout the yajna. Today we have pineapples, we're going to have coconuts. You have any coconut at all? Oh, you got the main Vishnu. Or the form of the coconut is there. And pineapples, they also are there. But normally we have coconuts, this whole thing. It's there and many others. Pineapples will also suffice, but we'll have 4 devotees on each corner reading 4 shastras, representing the 4 Vedas. We shall, so creating auspiciousness. The holy name is all auspicious. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, what canto is the pastime of Bali Maharaj? Is 8th or 9th canto? 8th. In the 8th canto, we see the pastime of Bali Maharaj and Vamanadev, Lord Vamanadev, and how Lord Vamanadev, by transcendental trickery, takes everything away from Bali Maharaj. And in a sense, transcendental trickery. The Prabhupada is also like that, isn't he? By transcendental trickery, he's taking everything away, isn't he? But giving us everything, really. When we think we're losing things in the material world, but let's look at it realistically. We're all going to lose everything we have, isn't it? Is there anything you can think of in the material world you're not going to lose? There might be. Anything? I said, in the material world, is there anything that we're not going to lose? So we could say something. What could you say? Oh, but you're nodding. What would you say? Oh, that's not in the material world. In the material world. Linda, your mobile phone. No, you lost it already. Oh, you got it. Your what?
Love for Krishna.
Well, that's not in the material world, is it? We're talking about the material world. Bhakti, love of Krishna, chanting, these are not part of the material world. That's not part of the material world.
Krishna's energy. Problems?
Problems, for sure. We're not going to lose problems, don't worry about that. Wherever you go in the material world, you're going to have that with you. Problems, a good answer. You're going to have problems. Wherever you go, even if you go up to the top planet, Abrahma Bhuvana Lokapana topmost planet down to the lowest, everywhere is a place of suffering, where repeated birth and death take place. That's one practical side of it. Internally, what are you not going to lose?
Your relationship with Sadhu, Guru, and...
No, you might lose that. And that's spiritual anyway. What are you not going to lose? We're talking in, I keep saying, in the material world. Which means material. Who said that? Yeah, your desire. Material desire is going to go with you, right? And of course, your karma goes with you as well. Right? Desire and karma go with you wherever you go. You can't escape. Okay, oh, thank God I'm out of there. That's over. It's not over. The cause of being in that situation is still there with us. You may have gotten rid of certain aspects of the karma, but the cause is material desire, right? We still have our material desire. Transformation of desire. It's not getting rid of desire, it's transforming our desire from material to spiritual. That's initiation. That's spiritual life. That's yoga. Particularly bhakti yoga, to transform that into bhakti. And what is bhakti? Well, yeah, we see that the word can sometimes mean just service. I mean, all over the world, this word, in many languages, not maybe a few, is used, and it means service. Guru means teacher. So yeah, bhakti. Real bhakti means to transform or awaken. Say transform, it's already there. Transform desire from material to spiritual. Awaken our attraction or our love for Krishna. It's already there, isn't it? Isn't love for Krishna already there? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, Saja Kavanai, Shravanadi, Shrudakita, Karyudaya. Is it already there or not? Some heads are nodding like this, some aren't moving. Someone looking at their mobile phones quickly to see if they You got the phone today. Photographs. Yes. Love of God is already there in the heart of every living being. It's not something we get from outside, you know, it's already there. It just has to be awoken. How's it awoken? Just like when the sun rises in the morning, huh? Nighttime. I don't know, day or night here right now. I don't know what the time is. What time is it? I know what the time is, but I don't know if it's still day here, isn't it? In India, the sun's setting. In some parts of the world, in the northern hemisphere now, it's dark as anything. It's pitch black this time of day, 6:30 in the evening, pitch black. And in India, I guess it's just setting, 6:30, right? So here, the sun's still, well, maybe a few hours it sets, but it's still up in the sky. But so when the sun sets, what happens? It's a difficult question, that one. Yeah, a lot of things happen, but an obvious one is that it goes what we call dark, isn't it? At least to us. Now, is actually the sun setting?
No.
Is it really dark? No. We're just covered, like, by a little thing, right? We're in the shadow, that's what, right? Dark shadow. We get like less dark and dark. It gets darker and darker, right? Depending if the moon's up or not. But it's generally dark. And then when it rises, what happens? Huh? Pardon?
Darkness goes away.
Yeah, darkness goes away. Light comes in, huh? Where there's light, there's no darkness, right? Isn't it? Generally speaking, when the sun is there, you don't get darkness. And there's not only when there's an obstacle blocking the sunlight, you get darkness, right? Otherwise, there's no darkness. Of course, the whole material universe, in one sense, is dark. The sun is like the reflective eye of the Lord. It reflects the Brahma Jyoti into the universe, the light of Brahman. Otherwise, the whole universe is black. No light at all. Pretty miserable. Wouldn't it be horrible? Living in a constant black. No light. I mean, you couldn't live long, but it's like that in the womb, actually. It's horrible. Huh? Terrible thought. Don't get too worried. Krishna will be alright. Not going to do that. Very horrible. That's the universe. So the light of the sun lights up the universe. But then there's an obstacle blocking us. We're on the backside of the earth. Or some other obstacle blocks the sunlight. But the earth being solid, it blocks it. Anyway, there are other angles we're looking at, but that's the principle. Right? So we remove the obstacle. What is blocking? What is blocking that sunlight or the light of being Krishna, Surya, Sam, Maya? Krishna's like the sun, Maya, Andhakara. Maya, right? Maya is like the darkness. What is that Maya? The darkness that we're in. It's actually just like that. It's just like blocking the sunlight. This is also Brahman, but it even is blocked. It's kind of like perverted. What is it? Just like darkness is another aspect. Darkness can't exist in a sense unless it's light. It doesn't have any meaning. So what is that Maya?
Ajnana.
Yeah, ignorance. Ignorance. You could say that's the full answer. Can we say it in another way? I mean, literally, Maya means illusion, okay. What is that Maya? Pardon? Huh? Anarthas, okay. Well, that's what manifests in this material world. Material, yeah, anarthas. Seeing things as important, seeing the body and the world around it, because it's important up to a point. But we go beyond the point. We see things as all in all. It's all of life. So what else could you say?
Lost relationship with Krishna.
Yeah, forgetting Krishna. Forgetfulness of Krishna. The essential root, you could say, that we've forgotten Krishna. We're not seeing things in relation to Krishna. Maya means to see things separate from Krishna. Actually, nothing separate from Krishna. As described by separate energies, actually, in one sense, it appears separate, but nothing's really separate. Everything, Krishna is present everywhere. He's in every atom. He's in everyone's heart. He's everywhere. Everything is just an expansion of Krishna, really. Even the material energy is just an expansion of one of his energies. But nothing is separate from Krishna. We're just seeing it separate from Krishna. That's Maya. Maya makes us see it separate from Krishna. And we think, it's mine. Or nobody owns it. Right? So I better claim it. Because nobody owns it. I can claim it. This is my land now. This is our country. We claim it. This mine. This is mine. That's how Maya works. It makes us think like that, you know, to see ourselves in the center and forget, and we don't put Krishna in the center. So we're in between. We're trying to remember this sometimes and try to act accordingly, though we don't exactly spontaneously act like that. We try to kind of live our lives guided by activities and various directives to try to help us to move in that direction. By gradually acting in that direction, then our heart becomes purified. It's like the sun gradually comes up, a little bit of, dawn, a little bit of glimmer of light starts coming in, and the darkness, then it begins, and we no longer identify so much with the darkness of night. Slow, step by step. So initiation is an important step in this direction to move, and that's Shravananadi Shurachiti Karyudai, the process of waking up, the process of coming out of the dark, out of the darkness into the light. That process is Shravananadi. Shravana means hearing. And Adi means other things. Hearing, chanting, remembering, etc. The ninefold process of ocean service is there, which if we associate with that, then we may gradually wake up. Just like the night we're dreaming. We're dreaming. We think the dream is a reality. Yeah. For one who's actually awake, this body is also a dream. The mind is also a dream. We think that's the reality now. Well, it is in a sort of way, but it's not the absolute reality. It's just something we're experiencing for a temporary period of time. Just like a dream at night appears to be reality, doesn't it? Have you ever experienced that? Sometimes when we're dreaming at night, it's horrible. Sometimes it's elated, we become very elated, and sometimes it's horrible. Have you ever had that? Ups and downs experiences in dreams? Some of you may not remember or may not have had. I have had all varieties of dreams. Everything under the sun I can think of I've had in a dream practically. And sometimes it's like you're just trying to get out of there. Have you ever had that? You're trying to get out of the dream? Isn't it funny? That proves that you're not the dream. Have you ever been in a situation during the day you just want to get out of that situation? That proves you're not the situation. Sometimes the body suffers so much you want to get out of the body. Or the mind's giving you so much problem, I just want to get out. It's quite easy, logically speaking, even if you haven't got realization, to understand that you want to get out of this situation are different from the situation, whether it's the mental or physical one. It's not so difficult, is it? It's pretty logical. I mean, I don't know, to me it sounds pretty logical. It sounds illogical to think otherwise. Just like we say, this person's giving me so much trouble, but we know, well, that person's not me. Huh? That person's someone else. Anyway, it's to wake up from this illusion, this dream of identifying with this body, and to transform our identification towards Krishna. Initiation. Connection. Beginning of it. Not the beginning, because initiation is today. Maybe traditionally in Vedic society, one would get one's bhajana kriya, one's directives at initiation, but already, because one's born in a family, in Vedic times, Brahmina, Kshatriya, Vaishya, family, whatever, you're already practicing, you're already in the association of persons who are doing it, so it's not foreign, it's not like out of the blue. When Prabhupada started ISKCON in 1965, 66, I don't think any of us were there then, at least maybe in a different body, I don't know, but definitely not in this one, and never know, could have been. But Prabhupada started this movement, and it was like that practically. It was like devotees were taking initiation in their jeans and t-shirts, literally. Maybe they just put their cigarette out before they came in. At least they had put their cigarette out. They didn't know what the four regulated principles. They learned at initiation, some of them, that there were four regulated principles. Can you imagine that now? So it's like different scenario, different situation. There was nobody. They were just trying to take that little spark of interest and fan it. Maybe become a little serious as they make this step. But now, devotees come to initiation. It's kind of a Brahminical thing. Even first initiation is almost like a Brahminical thing. It's one thing I feel we should realize in our movement, that this movement is not restricted to that. Most of the people in this world today are not likely to take initiation, but they can all be devotees, and they can all be connected, and they can all be inspired, and they can all do great service, chanting Hare Krishna. They don't need to be initiated. Scripture says the holy name does not wait for initiation. Everyone can chant. Initiate or not, take the stigma away. Let everyone feel they can be a part of the movement. Those who are initiated are supposed to be becoming broad-minded to incorporate everyone else in a way that they can feel just as much a part of this movement as anyone else. I'm not like on a fader. I can't come up to the mic. It's a big fallacy. Every single person, even the person working in the butcher's shop can be a part of this movement until the time comes and closes. Then we do something else. Everyone can do it. We just have to encourage them, not the elitist thing. Yes, what is initiation? To encourage us to become purer, so we can be more instrumental in Lord Chaitanya's universal mercy mission. More broad-minded, not less. More. More compassion. More being able to, accept people and connect them with Krishna instead of kind of, if you don't change, blah, blah, blah. But he wanted it. Why Prabhupada gets those, strong or whatever, because he wants certain members of society to have that understanding, that broadness, so that they can actually embrace everyone, not physically, but I mean, bringing them into the house that the whole world can live in. That was the statement, right? You all hear it. Prabhupada didn't say himself, it was said about him. A house for the whole world to live in. You have to think carefully. Brahmin is supposed to be broad-minded. In Vedic society, only a tiny percent of society was Brahmin. 90% ordinary people never took initiation, but they're all part of society. They're all part of a progress towards Krishna. Yeah. That doesn't mean, therefore, I don't care and I won't take initiation. If we want to advance, we have that there's stages of advancement. Step by step, and it's a natural thing. We want to get free of all anarthas, all physical identifications, whatever they may be. So, whatever they may be. Sadhu Pari Vinam Tatpatavinam. We want our heart to become pure, free of all material designation. So for that, when the time comes, then initiation, rabbinical initiation, whatever it may be, steps. So we go pure, come to a purer platform. It's like in education. When a child's 5 years old, you go to primary school. You don't tell him, oh, you stupid fella. 2 and 2 equals 4, is that all you know, you stupid little guy? We don't say that. Wow, wonderful. Now in 10 years' time, if he's still 2 and 2 equals 4, my goodness, what's happened? He hasn't grown very quickly. 15 years old, he's still, all he knows is 2 and 2 equals 4. You expect him to mature. So it's a system where people can grow. But not if you're, a 15-year-old, if you look down on those who are 2 or 5-year-old, nonsense. It's equally important. Every stage is important. The leader, Acharya, Advaita Acharya, he taught by example. Acharya means one who teaches by example. To uplift, to bring everyone closer to Krishna. That's the Acharya. To give everyone that opportunity, to engage everyone in Krishna's service. To somewhere, and gradually we become purified. And then naturally we become purified, as the sun naturally rises, the darkness gradually dissipates. Our interest in dark things diminishes. Our attraction towards pure devotional service grows naturally. And then natural stages come. We grow, and in education we go from one step to another. So today is one of those wonderful steps. Second initiation, first initiation as its term, but basically it's Diksha is connecting with the Parampara officially, although they're already chanting Hare Krishna, I hope. We hope, I don't know, we'll have to, you better, if I'm incorrect, you better tell me quick. Some of the family members are here. And in the Keshav, we hope that you're following the principles of the vows of first initiation. Is that correct? Where's your wife? Where is she? She knows. Right? Ask the mother. Here she is. Is he, I know it's a bit embarrassing in public. He's not too bad, is he? Where is he? Is he alright? Is he okay? He's okay, good. Alright, you're alright. You got the green light, okay? You're giving him the green light? You're giving him the green light? Giving your blessings? Good. You got the blessings, you're a good way. And your mother, you're giving blessings? Dad is not here right now, is he? Is he here? Where is he? There he is, he's arrived. Give your blessings? This is their son sitting there. And your brother, give your blessings? Sure? Oh, bashings. Blessings and bashings. So give a good bashing afterwards, okay? They're always fighting with each other, these two. Is that right? Almost. Loving exchange, right? What to do? So, like that. We're already following, chanting the holy name, but the idea, not the idea, the objective is that we come to the platform of pure devotion. Human life is meant for God realization, it's not meant for sense gratification. It's understood the majority of us still have material desires. Maybe sometimes not so strict, I don't know. But that at least we have to understand that that is not our goal. We may be weak, we may be this or that. The idea, the understanding is that we're desiring, we have to have a desire first of all, and then apply the necessary process to come to pure devotional service. Because only a pure devotee can actually really uplift others. Otherwise we can assist a pure devotee in uplifting others. You can assist them. The one whose heart is pure, they can actually we have to assist and hear from somebody who's pure in heart. So we're trying to assist Prabhupada. So when we're taking initiation at this time in Islam, we're taking initiation to try to assist Srila Prabhupada in whatever we can. The initiating guru is also trying to assist Srila Prabhupada. The initiating guru may or may not be on this platform or that platform. He's a link, he's giving that connection, official connection with our parampara, under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. This is the position. So we're taking shelter like that, those infallible lotus feet, which would destroy all the sin within our heart if we take shelter of those lotus feet. Which means the instruction that the spiritual master is giving, his mercy. There are different ways of coming to perfection. A Kripa Siddha, Prabhupada one time indicated, means the instructions I'm giving you. That's my Kripa. That's my mercy. So we need to take shelter of that mercy. It may be a little different from here to there, but the general principle of taking initiation is one of those principles. There are many others which may lead to that. It is a principle of the Shastra, principle of the process of devotional service, bhajana kriya, actively engaged in service. At a certain point, the natural arising of that urgent need within the heart is there. I must take official initiation. Even Advaita Acharya, the Supreme Lord himself, took initiation from Madhavendra Puri. Even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took initiation from Ishwara Puri. Jesus Christ took initiation from John the Baptist. Everyone teaches this example. It's a principle of connection which everybody needs. And it's already started, as we said, even at the first connection, maybe just saying Hare Krishna once. The connection's begun. But this is a very important step now to move forward beyond anartha. After bhajana kriya, which includes initiation, then comes anartha nivritti, removal of the anarthas. Initiation is essential, frankly speaking. Vijnanatam surgrum eva vigatya, brahmanishtam. In order to come to the Brahman or beyond the Nartha stage, the spiritual stage, one must take initiation. One must take shelter of the pure devotee of the Lord. Whether it's official or unofficial, but that must be there. Initiation is more than the ceremony, is in the heart. But the ceremony goes along with it. The ceremony, the commitment goes along with it. And the change of name, change beads, all these things are to help us to get free of sarva upadi, freed of all the false identities, and to start to identify herself with Krishna. Krishna Das, right? Everyone's got the same name, isn't it? Krishna Das, or Krishna Das Anudas. Everyone's got the same name, isn't it? Krishna Dasi Anudasi. Something like that, isn't it? Radharani. Radhadasi. So, whatever it is, basically you're the same name, isn't it? Name of Krishna or name of Krishna's devotee. But the most important thing is the Das. Is that right? The Das? If you're not a Das, what are you? If you're not a Das, you are an...
Ass.
Oh, did you hear that? He called you an ass. He looked around and said, ass. If you're not a Das, you're an ass. My goodness me. Want to be an ass? Load-bearing ass, carrying all the loads for lifetime after lifetime, which is basically correct, isn't it? Just working like an ass. For what reason? Bit of straw. And then you die. You leave it behind. You go into another assy body. We won't take the example any further, it gets pretty good. Or if you take Das the other way around, what is it? D-A-S, the other way around. Sad. You become very sad. There better be a Das. Don't be sad. Better be Das and sad. Got it? Das means servant. But not just Das, 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 Das. 100 times removed, huh? Pretty good name, wouldn't it? 100 Das's in a row. Your name is Das, 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 on and on, Anudas. What's your name, Prabhu? I haven't got time to tell you. I'm too busy. That mood, to develop that mood, that we are actually servants of the servant. That is our actual, in this world and in the spiritual world, that is our position. Become servant of the servant. And the name, whether it's Krishna Das or Radha Dasi or whatever it may be, Krishna Dasi, whatever our names may be, the most important thing is to remember that this now is, you know, my title. If you go to a doctor, someone's got, what's the title for a doctor, medical doctor? What title do they have? What's the number? What's the name at the end? What's it say? Huh? N what?
MBBS.
NBBS. Yes, MBBS. So if you go to someone with MBBS on the title, you expect them to be a doctor, is it? You say, well, you're a doctor, right? No. No, I'm not a doctor. What are you? I'm a blacksmith. I'm a ticket collector. I'm a builder. Well, why have you got those initials on? I like them. I get a bit of praise when I put those initials down there. That's not the idea, is it? So when you've got Das, you're supposed to live by it, right? People expect. It's a title. Eternal title. Not just a temporary one, according to our karma. It's a permanent title, so we have to remember our business here is to become Das. So Das of who?
Servant of the servant.
Servant of the devotees. Servant of everyone. Lord Chaitanya, a devotee, a Vaishnava is serving everyone. Right? How are they serving everyone? How are they serving everyone? You could say they're watering the root of a tree. You're automatically, by serving Krishna's will, you're automatically watering the whole tree, right? By watering the root. So everyone's a part of that great tree, even if they are in darkness. They're nonetheless part of Krishna's tree. So in one sense you're benefiting everyone, but more directly, how is a devotee serving everyone? He doesn't keep it to himself, does he? Some people keep it to themselves, they kind of hibernate. But a Vaishnava, at least in the line of Srila Prabhupada, the line of Lord Chaitanya, doesn't do that. What is their desire? Yeah. My goodness, someone's on the ball back there. Who was that? Who was that? Oh, Nishta. They've come all the way from Brisbane also. Somebody from Brisbane have come here today. There's almost as many from there as there are from here, isn't it? Who's from Brisbane? Hands up, the Brisbaners. Come on, put your poles up. Put your poles up high. Somebody in Brisbane. There are more than that. There are little ones as well, but the little ones are not going up. Great. And from Newcastle. One from Newcastle in Australia. Newcastle. Anyone else from anywhere else? In this body. Where are you from? All from Sydney? Who's from Melbourne? Where's Melbourne? Melbourne? Oh yeah, Tom's come all the way up from Melbourne. Okay. Who else? Someone else? From Melbourne? Wow. Are you came up today for the event, or you just happened to be coming up?
Just here.
Pardon?
A few days ago.
Great. We just came yesterday from Tasmania. We had a wonderful time, didn't we, in Tasmania? Or kind of, we didn't have much time. We went up in the hills, up in the forest, hiding away in the forest. We thought we were going to have 2 days of seclusion. But somehow or another, people came out of the woods, and we were regularly being visited by people up there. Not just the wallabies and the potbellies. What are those things called? Not potbellies, what are they called? Those little things. not
Wombat.
big as- No, smaller than a... No. Like a
Possum.
but smaller.
Tasmanian devil?
Huh?
Tasmanian devil?
Potbelly, what do they call those things? Huh? Something like that. Little furry creature that comes right up to you. You can feed it out your hand. Right out the forest.
Is it red? A
Huh?
dingo?
No, not possum.
Red devil? Tasmanian devil? A dingo?
There you go. Obviously, I haven't got them in Sydney, that's for sure. Not only that, but humans will come out. Somewhere in the bush, there's a person living over the ridge, a person living down the valley, a person over there. All these far-out people were coming, you know. It's such nice people. There's something popping up. Chance to share Krishna consciousness a little bit with them. As a devotee wants to give what we've got. The business service is to give. To serve, to give, love, and so on. Not just for me. You've got to share it with others. Initiation of that responsibility of taking up the mood of Srila Prabhupada, to give Krishna consciousness in the footsteps, as you said, just in Yadadeka Tadakara Krishna Nadesh. Wherever we go, Amara, very Guru Todava Nadesh, become a guru and teach others also. Share whatever we can, pass on the books, chant the holy name, give prasada, invite people to the temple, inform them a little bit about philosophy, whatever they can take. Distribute the message of Lord Chaitanya. This is order to everybody. It's not just Bharata Bhumite Oila Manushi Janmajara. We're both in that category, by the way. Most of you are in that category with Indian descent. It's the duty of everyone to make your life perfect and distribute this message to everyone. Not just sit at home saying, yes, I'm a devotee. Okay, nice. But we can do much more. Krishna says, one who spreads this message is dearest to me. There'll never be one more dear. So everyone, no matter what. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I order every man within the universe to take this Krishna consciousness and spread it to others. Because if everyone in the universe is Krishna conscious, we will have to go in the forest and start preaching to the potbellies, wherever they're called, because all the humans will be chanting Hare Krishna. Right?
I hope so.
Hare Krishna. At least we have to. If we're not doing it, Acharya. If we're saying do this and we do something else, what can we expect? Right? So those who take initiation, as much, please try to take it seriously. Baba wanted us to follow our vows, to try to show by example, to spread Krishna consciousness, to behave according to practice what we preach. And that's why Advaita Acharya is there, because he showed by his living example, he was called Acharya, how to perfectly serve and please the senses of Krishna. But we follow the footsteps of Acharya. That's the whole process, isn't it? It's to follow the footsteps of the Acharya. We may not be exactly, but we're instrumentally following in his footsteps, and thus we can also act in that mold of Acharya, teaching others by to the degree. So today, Nam Diksha, second initiation, there are principles of Brahman initiation. Prabhupada emphasized 4 principles of Brahman initiation, mantra diksha, which are, you could see more in the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, explained, expanded, but particularly Prabhupada emphasized 4 major categories for those who are taking on this role of trying to give Brahminical input in society. And what are those for?
Charity.
Pardon?
Charity.
Charity, it can come in there, but it's not exactly charity. It is, it certainly is, but it's not one of the four. Yes. Truthfulness is one of the underlying main foundations of Brahminical culture. Truthfulness. Always speak the truth based on the Vedas, not just mundane truths. That maybe they also common sense prevails, but specifically Vedic truths, according to Guru Shastra Sadhus, being truthful. Other? Pardon? Non-violence. Comes to that in a minute. Another one? Cleanliness. Cleanliness. Cleanliness is practically the most emphasized by Srila Prabhupada. Practically the most emphasized, to be clean. Cleanliness of the mind, body, and surroundings. Keeping one's house clean, one's room clean, one's clothes clean, one's car clean, everything clean. Feet bags, everything clean, and also one's body. Much because working people, most of you are, it's not always so easy, but as much as possible, keeping clean, washing properly at the right time, etc. Cleanliness is next to godliness. One time Prabhupada said cleanliness is godliness. He told one devotee from Gopal of mine in London, who was a very clean person, and Prabhupada said to him before initiation, he said, if you learn nothing else from this movement, please learn to be clean. Told him that. He always was a super clean man after that. He always took that to heart and was always pucker clean with everything. In the kitchen, when you cook, it should be cleaner when you finish cooking than when you started. Not there's a bomb site at the end, 10 devotees have to come in for 6 hours and clean up. Otherwise I'm not going to cook again. Unless you send 10 devotees in to clean up after me, I'm not going to cook again. I cook. What do you expect? Cooking means cleaning. Otherwise it's not accepted. Prabhupada said if the kitchen is not clean, when the offering goes on, Krishna doesn't accept it. Ask yourself, what does that mean? Cleanliness is more than just a superficial thing. It's a state of consciousness, cleaning our heart. One time, Prabhupada went to a temple. Yeah, and the temple was clean. Prabhupada said, that means you're not chanting your rounds. One day he said, Prabhupada, the temple was dirty, they're not keeping it clean. Prabhupada said, that means you're not chanting your rounds. No, Prabhupada, we're chanting your rounds. Prabhupada said, no, you're not. Otherwise, why is the temple clean? Dirty. Why is the temple dirty? Cheto Dharpana Majram Bhava Mahadevagni quoted. If you're actually chanting, your heart will become clean, and the temple will be clean, and the kitchen will be clean, and your bathroom will be clean. Everything will be clean if you're actually chanting. You're not chanting, you said. You're doing something, but it's not 16 minutes. Not just a mechanical splur. It's to cleanse our hearts. We're here to cleanse our hearts of all the dirty things accumulated for years. Whether it's upadis, or whether it's an artist, whether it's whatever it is. Microphones, no. I took a microphone off. It's okay. Where is it? So, to cleanse our hearts, initially in the beginning, of course our hearts are dirty. Obviously, they're still dirty. But the whole purpose of this movement is to provide an environment, facility, which will help automatically, as well as by our endeavor, and by the mercy of Krishna, to cleanse our heart. An environment which is cleaner helps to bring about cleanliness. I experienced that a little bit, and not that much, but a little bit. We were only there for a day in the forest in Tasmania. How nice it was to be off the grid. How nice it was to be in nature. I mean, it gives it material, but it was so peaceful. The whole atmosphere was so much more peaceful, you know, not so disturbed. And if you really wanted to, it's so easier to chant japa in the middle of the night. You know, there's always something going on, but it's much, much less, let's say the ether is less contaminated environment. The temple goes beyond that. The temple is supposed to be a spiritual oasis where people can come. And just by coming to the temple alone, one can experience purification. Not that you come to the temple and everyone stood around gossiping.
Would you like it louder?
Pardon? What was that comment? Would you like a what?
Would you like it louder?
Like a what?
Would you like it louder?
Louder?
Louder.
Cowder?
Louder.
I don't know what that
Louder
is.
like a speaker.
Huh?
Louder. L-O-U-D. Louder.
Louder.
Yeah.
Can you speak louder? Is that what she said?
Would you like it louder?
Would you like it louder? I don't know. You have to answer that, not me. A funny question to ask in the middle of the talk. Is that you? Who was that? It came from over there somewhere. Where did it come from?
It was phone.
Huh?
It's the phone.
It came from you! Okay, because it came from that direction. Come closer if it's not loud enough. Okay? Put the phone down. Yeah, if you could be as kind as to turn off whatever. Put it on, I don't know what mode you put it on, something on. Yeah, some disturbances there, and that was a fact. The second night, someone was on the phone all night long downstairs. The first night was good. You had this feeling of like, you did no internet. It was really good. No internet. No mobile reception. No internet. Not on the grid. Nobody around for about half a mile. Pretty good feeling. You'd be surprised. Of course, how long you can sit there without, getting irritable. That's another thing. It is an experience. So what was speaking of a spiritual experience when you made the temple like a haven, oasis in this spiritual desert. Okay, I guess that's the end now. We have to have Archie, is it? Your initiation festival over? Finished? Too late? I'm sorry, I overdid it. Come back next week. We'll try to do better next week. Comes in a vocal. We're making the temple like a spiritual, like the sun. Here he comes. And not that everyone's on their mobile, sending text messages, and a little bit gossiping, and a little bit kind of spacing out, negative things like that. But hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, devotional practices. So amongst those devotional practices, chanting the holy name is, we didn't quite finish. That's number 2, cleanliness. Number 3?
Merciful.
Pardon? Merciful, which includes, includes a few of the other things you mentioned. Compassion and so on and so forth. Being merciful to other living entities. By giving what you've got, sharing it with others. Little choir with the bell, please, Pujari, Ananda Maya. Is it Ananda or who is it? Pujari! Quiet with the bell! Yeah. Quiet with the bell. You ring a bell, but quietly. Have a small bell. Sometimes it's so loud you can't hear anything. So, yes. Merciful to other living entities in various ways. Big topic. And the other one? Austerity. Austerity means these 4 activities actually conquer over the 4 vices of this age, which are? Oh, I can't tell you. There are 4 vices which we may hear, we may not hear, from young Keshav in a little while. We'll see. A few minutes. And these 4 activities conquer over them. They control it. And in the absence of those, these 4 vices become, they can be more easily manifested. So they go hand in hand, they're important for medical life. So austerity, controlling our senses, controlling our mind. And it doesn't mean, that means engage. Literally it means engaging our mind, engaging our senses, engaging our words in the service and intellect in the service of Krishna. That's how we control it. It's not like, no. It's yes, I will engage that. Whatever it is, in Krishna's service, that's how we control them. Hare Krishna. So, in chanting Hare Krishna, there are 10 offenses to be avoided. Is that right? Is it still 10? Are there still 4 regulating principles?
Yes.
Hasn't gone down? Or up?
Same.
10? Same, okay. 10 offenses to be avoided. Because in the beginning, naturally we're going to be chanting without we're going to be chanting without ajnana, as someone said earlier on, ignorance. We're not in knowledge of the situation, of how to advance particularly, or what even the goal of advancing is, or what it even means. So there are 10 offenses which Prabhupada emphasized at initiation. And if we can avoid those 10 offenses, then we can come to pure chanting. Pure chanting Shrinam. The platform of pure chanting is the, you could say, that how the heart really becomes cleansed of all anarthas, all dirty things, where our chanting is pure. It's gradual. It's not as the sun gradually rises. It doesn't suddenly pop up in the middle of the sky, does it? 1 minute, 12 hours is in the middle of the sky, and 12 hours it's completely black. It's not like that. It's gradual development. So it takes time. There's a stage called Namabas, clearing stage, where we come from ignorance or offensive stage in chanting to the pure stage. So the Namabas stage is the stage of gradual purification. And in that stage, we become conscious of various. Lord Chaitanya said there are no hard and fast rules for chanting, and some people misinterpret that to mean, therefore, it doesn't matter anything, you just chant. Now, in the beginning, that's a fact. Anyone can chant anywhere and any place, in any time, and that rule applies at all stages. But it applies in the very, very beginning. Even though we may be a meat eater or a drinker, or we can't. Even though we're sinful, at any stage, that principle can apply, no doubt. But the point is, we want to come beyond that. If we want to come to pure devotional service, then there are certain principles to follow. There are certain things that help cleanse our heart, help us to chant purely, that help us to attract the mercy of Krishna more and more, that he becomes pleased. It's like in any relationship. You know, there are different levels of relationship, and if you want intimate relationship, you've got to know how to please the other person. Your very behavior, your appearance, your words, your moods, please the other person. So if we want to please Krishna, who's none different than his name, we have to know what will please him in this form of Namarupa, the form of the name. So that is to chant without offense, following the footsteps of a pure devotee. And Prabhupada said to do that, there is a process. The process includes, he said, if you want to come to pure chanting, the process means you have to be properly initiated. He said, on several occasions he mentions this point. Properly initiated. And follow the process of chanting under the direction of the pure devotee Lord. So 10 offenses to be avoided, which Padma Purana, all our acharyas have mentioned. There's a stage we come to, and there's something which, if we want to come to pure, we must take into account. What are they?
Blaspheme the devotees who dedicated.
To blaspheme the devotees who dedicate. And funny, the appearance of Advaita Acharya was involved in this. His mother, Nabi, and his father, Kuvara, Pandit, mother and father of Advaita Acharya, heard blasphemy of a Vaishnava. They were determined to fast until death when they heard that. They were going to fast till death. They couldn't tolerate living. Having heard, it's such a, for a pure devotee, to hear that is unbearable. To hear anyone criticize or blaspheme a Vaishnava. We may take it lightly. Internet makes it very easy to do these things. It's very detrimental to spiritual life. Even if there is a fault, if we can't do anything to help the person, it's not our business to meddle. So they were blaspheming. Then in their dream, the Lord appeared before them and told them, "No, I'm going to appear as your son very shortly." So they didn't fast till death, but they were prepared to do so as a result of the hearing of blasphemy. It's very serious business. Anybody, we don't blaspheme anyone. We may speak about them for factual reasons, practical reasons, but we don't blaspheme or criticize anyone. Otherwise, we wouldn't even bother talking about them, there's no necessity other than to glorify them. What's the second one?
Disobey the orders of the
Somebody else? One of the candidates?
Transfer the names of Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be independent to the name of Lord Vishnu.
Yeah, that's sometimes said to be, it's said to consider the names of the demigods, like those Shiva's more than a demigod, you could say, but he's acting in the role of a demigod. But to consider any of the devas, demigods, names to be equal or personalities, like many people worship her as demigods, It's there, it's recommended in the Vedas in certain ways, but it's within the realm of karmakanda. It's not transcendental. It's within the material framework. So to consider them on the same platform as the transcendental name of Krishna is an offense against the holy name. Now, that isn't just full stop. What that means is the Mayavad philosophy, this all oneness, that we're all the same. Even this creeps into our daily life. We're all equal. Modern day society has this law. They can't live by it, but they want to, legally or technically speaking, implement this so-called oneness, equality. But it's a fallacy. There is no material world, there is no equalness, there is no equality. Equality is on the spiritual platform in terms of we're all servants of Krishna, we're all spiritual beings. Even there's variety. It's not Mayavad philosophy. We're all one in the spiritual world. But we're different too. We all have our individuality. And in the material world, we have our individuality. And to say everything's the same and all equal is Mayavad philosophy. So this is a very common philosophy which impregnates all lines of life, including religions, including us. It very often creeps in. And we don't play our part. We want to play someone else's part and equate everyone as equals. Unless one's on the transcendental platform, we cannot see the Jnana Sampane Brahmani Gavi Vishnu. We cannot see the equality of every living entity. We may theorize, but practically we cannot. As soon as someone interferes with our individuality, we get really upset. As soon as someone says something we don't like, boom, the bomb goes off. So that means we're not really on that platform, because we're affected by these things. So that, being on the Brahman platform means we're knowing we're all spirit soul, but it doesn't mean that we treat everyone as if they're already on that platform. There are therefore different designations in this world to help us to come to that platform of realizing Brahman, Brahma Bhuta, Sanatmana, Shoshatina, Kamshiti stage. So initiation is one of those stages. So this Mayavad philosophy, or influence of this Mayavad philosophy, is very dangerous. What's the third one? Disobey the orders of the spiritual master pretty much speaks for itself. If the spiritual master is connected to the Parampara, it means we're disobeying Krishna's instructions. Because he said we have to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, etc., etc. Evam parampara praptam imam rajasho to do. This knowledge is passed down through disciplic succession. So it means we're basically behind Krishna. What's the fourth one? Yeah, don't blaspheme any scripture. They may be, the problem is sometimes they may not be, they may be interpreted, misinterpreted, changed, whatever. That's another thing. But the principle of no scripture should be criticized or blasphemed, because every scripture has its purpose in different places and circumstances. So we should be a little bit Brahman, especially should be goal-minded to see this common fact in all scriptures, in all religions, in all levels of spiritual maturity. Fifth one. Who is this speaking? Who is that? Is that Google? Yeah, consider the glory of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. They may not be manifested in their every experience, but one who chants in the proper process, if necessary, these particular inconceivable events or results of chanting the holy name of the Lord manifest. And for one who chants purely, yes, all the sins from countless lifetimes are removed. There's about a bit of that attitude involved too. Otherwise, just some of the parabdas immediately, those are manifest, those are just on coming to the surface, cleaned away. But the root can be removed entirely. The root can be removed by pure chanting of the holy name. When our devotion, our chanting is really intense. Kivena, and our chanting is very intense, then that burns away at the root. Kivada Nudinam, the people said, when our chanting is very carefully done and very regulated, then it can burn the root itself, not just the surface plants. It's just like you've got your terrible forest fires going on here and there, burning the trees, but the thing will grow up again after some time, because many seeds are there, roots are there, this, that, the other, they grow up again. This takes time, or some other plant comes up. Yes, what's the sixth one? To give some interpretation on the holy name, we accept what the Shastras, the Guru, the Sadhus say, not what we think or what someone else thinks. Krishna means this, Rama means that, Hari means this. No, we accept what Shastras say and what Guru reveals to us about the essential meaning of the Maha Mantra, or the holy name. We don't explain this to everybody, but for those who are on the path, we don't misinterpret. What's another one? Number 7.
Simple activities.
Pardon? Commit simple activities on strength of chanting holy names. It's kind of direct and indirect offense. We may be knowingly doing something wrong, we carry on chanting, we don't make a serious endeavor to rectify it. It is also on that category of being offensive in chanting. Now, if we have that problem, we should be praying or inquiring from others or doing the needful to try to eradicate or remove that offensive behavior or mentality when we chant. And for people in general, they may not have any knowledge of this, they're going to take this as a normal thing. You do any damn thing and then you pray to God, please forgive me. Well, it's better than nothing, that's for sure. But it's not the real thing. We should be praying to God, I'm a sinner, I'm weak, I can't control my sinful behavior. Please, my Lord, only by your mercy can I overcome this problem. I'm begging you, please help me to conquer over this sinful tendency. That humble mood evokes the mercy of Krishna. Otherwise, it can go on for lifetime. Bahu Janma Kariyari Shavana Kirtana Prabhutana Paya Krishna Pari Prema. Lifetime after lifetime of sinful life. And still, there will never be an awakening of love of God. What's the 8th offense? To compare it with one of the auspicious ritualistic activities mentioned in the Vedas in the Karma Kanda section of the Vedas. Well, we mentioned that earlier on in terms of the names of demigods and Krishna. Basically the same thing. Golokara Prema Dana Harinam Sankirtan, this holy name has come from Goloka Vrindavan into this world to take us back to Goloka. It is the Taraka Brahma Mantra. Taraka Brahma Mantra liberates us, also delivers the highest, the topmost, Taraka, the highest truth, the highest rasa, the highest opportunity to have a relation with Krishna. Other mantras may take you to the spiritual world, this, that, the other. This mantra is very special. Others may give liberation, and they give elevation, the material freedom from reactions, etc. The holy name does all that, but much more. Maha Mantra is the highest mantra, is the Maha Mantra, which can deliver pure love of God to one who surrenders to the holy name. 9th offense? Yeah, it means we don't speak all these hidden truths, these details necessarily to one and all, but just try to get people to begin their spiritual path. Like a child, you give knowledge according to their eligibility to receive it. Like a patient, you give food according to their eligibility to digest it. Everything is according to the eligibility of the receiver. One shares Krishna consciousness accordingly. It might just be, hey, I just cooked this home cooked cookie. Please, will you please take a cookie from me? I cooked it when I eat it, home cooked. Usually people take it. If they trust you. You don't necessarily say, this is prasadam, it's been offered to Krishna. Krishna's saliva is mixed with this biscuit. And you'll become spiritualized if you eat it. You'll become Krishna conscious if you eat it. I don't want to become Krishna conscious. What are you talking about? Keep the biscuit to yourself. Another, you got the point of that which people can digest, that which they will take, not what we want to shove down their throat, but what they can take. And speaking according to the level of their ability to hear. What's the 10th offense?
Not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding.
Faith, Shraddha. The whole process of devotion, the thread throughout the whole process of devotion is the involvement of Shraddha. The increasing faith. And faith is not blind, it's based upon experience, it's based upon Shastra, it's based upon others, but it's also based upon one's own internal experience. The Shraddha, or faith, increase more and more, and having complete faith. So we don't have complete faith, therefore we don't get complete results. And we certainly mixed in with that, we probably have a few mature desires. Probably. I do. I'm sure you do too. But we're trying to connect with someone who doesn't have any mature desires, who has complete faith, who's totally pure chanting to the Prabhupada in every respect as the rest of the spiritual world, so there's no question of that. We're just trying to follow him and trying to help others to connect and follow that. And then we also say, usually, it is also an offense to be
inattentive.
To be attentive while chanting. Inattentive. Inattentive or attentive? Inattentive. Oh, I got it wrong. I learned something tonight. Maybe I will change my spiritual life. You have to be attentive while chanting, right? That's easy, there's no problem with that, is there? Nothing to be said about that one, right? Easy as pie, isn't it? Attentive.
Pie's not easy.
Huh? Pie's not easy. You're not studying logarithms yet, are you? Yeah, it's not so easy, is it? Not so easy. Even if you go up in the forest, it's still not so easy. There's something. The mind! The mind! What am I going to do with the mind? The fellow said, what's the mind got to do with it? Just chant and hear. But he said, what he wants to just chant and hear. Not so easy as that either. You know, we know the struggle it is. Bhakti said, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. It is impossible for the jiva, that means us, to single-handedly overcome the illusion of inattention. He said it's impossible. Prabhupada said that's a word in the fool's dictionary, so I guess that makes us fools. But he said it's impossible to overcome it. Good. That's the end of that then. Waste of time, right? No, he said. It is only possible to overcome the illusion of inattention by the mercy of Krishna. Therefore one should fervently pray to Krishna to extirpate or free us from inattention. This is the only hope we have. It's mercy of Guru and Krishna, mercy of devotees and Krishna. We have to pray to them. That these offenses do not overcome us. And inattention, which is only too rampant in all of our lives, as the ongoing, non-stop accompaniment. We know, if you've read the Harinam Chintamani, Bhakti Vinod Thakur has described inattentive chanting. What does it do?
Sows the seeds of all anarthas.
Pardon?
Sows the seeds of all anarthas.
Probably right, I can't hear it.
Sows the seeds of all anarthas.
Sows the seeds of anartha. You have the seeds, but they're not going to grow unless you sow them. Inattentive chanting allows those seeds to be sown, and they can grow. If you keep chanting inattentively, they'll grow. You'll become materialistic instead of spiritualist. More and more, if you're not careful. And they also are the root of all the other anarthas, all the other offenses rather. Inattentive chanting, the other offenses will easily spring up and swallow us if we're not careful. Easily happens. So be careful. Try to be attentive while you chant. Okay? You got it? Keshav? So Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Try to pronounce the names. Don't be one of these, whatever I don't know what you call them, New Age Japa men. Super Japa man, I don't know what you call it. Whatever it is. People chant sometimes. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Rama, 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 Krishna. I don't know, all sorts of things you hear coming out sometimes. Quite amazing. It's really fun listening to people chant. I don't know what Krishna makes it, or I know he's laughing a lot, I don't know what he's doing. But we should try to pronounce, as the Prabhupada said, we should try to pronounce each word so you can hear it. We're not into Manasika Japa at this point in time. We're Achyuta Keshava means sound has to be there. Achyuta, chanting holy names. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Okay, we'll finish there. Say Lavi, and we'll go on now to Namakaranam. Are you ready? We're going to ask Keshav Prabhu. We're going to have to move this, I think. I have to excuse my legs, I've been sat here since 4 o'clock. So we're going to ask Keshav Prabhu to please come here and offer obeisances here, not with your feet to the deities or towards Prabhupada. Okay, so it means you have to basically do it that way. Right or wrong, you have to do it that way. And then go to Srila Prabhupada, and then go to the deities and come back here. You got it? Listen carefully. Offer it this way. because otherwise you have the feet to the deities or to Prabhupada. Only thing you can do is head this way. Head this way. Straight. Before we do that, hands on the ground. So someone like to say something about Keshava? Who's his mentor? Who's your mentor? Pardon? Is he here? Viraj Krishna Prabhu? You want to say something about Keshav? Quickly, just 2 minutes, 1 minute.
He's a wonderful devotee, given his age of 15 years of age. Wonderful inspiration for all youngsters, very attached to holy name and distribution of Srila Prabhupada's books especially.
And simply wonderfuls.
Perhaps Dara Prabhu can say something.
Well, his whole family are devotees. They're all here. This is the immediate family here. Vrinda's here. This is Vrinda. And Nitai's here. And where's Mum? Here she is. Madhav is here. Where's Dad? Shamananda's here. And they brought him up in devotional life at home, going on Sankirtan together. And he's also came to France with us for a little while. Spent time there and here and there over the years. We spent a fair bit of time together. Prabhupada initiated, devotees at a very young age sometimes. I think the youngest was 9. Prabhav, many of you know Prabhav. He was living here in Sydney for a long time. Now he's living. Try to remember never to offer your obeisances with your feet towards the deity or towards Prabhupada if you can. Sideways, as much as you can. I know it's not always easy, but as much as you can, sideways. It's not pleasing to Krishna if you put your feet towards Prabhupada, and it's definitely not pleasing to Prabhupada if you put your feet towards the deity. Not pleasing to Krishna himself. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Prabhupada, I think is the youngest disciple of Prabhupada on the planet. He's I think about 50 right now. Like 50, something like that. Just over 50. Huh? Not much more. I spoke to him 2 days ago. He said he's just over 50. I can't remember exactly what he said. He's just over 50. He's very young. But generally speaking, initiation is given at the age of, Prabhupada said at 10, 11. It's interesting. One time Prabhupada wrote a letter. He said, you can initiate the boys at the Gurukul at age 10, 11. Then they can start worshipping the deities. Someone said, we go any type? Prabhupada said, no, Radha Krishna. Didn't instigate it, but Prabhupada said, yes, if they're trained properly. What way they worship, I don't know, but that was there. That's not the policy Prabhupada actually implemented, but he said. So certainly at the age of 16, we say Keshav was 16, because he's in his 16th year. He's 16, so he's good age. And we hope and trust that he'll be responsible for his life, and what he does in his life, and to maintain the connection with Prabhupada through following these principles. So what are the 4 regulated principles to be followed?
Immediately, intoxication, that goes at 6 and again.
Good. And how many rounds a day?
Minimum 16 rounds.
Minimum 16 rounds a day, and if possible more, of course, especially on Ekadashi, if you can. So, different devotees, family members, and this and that. Obviously, he's been known as Keshava since he came out of the womb, almost. And part of his existence is Keshava. Doesn't everyone know him as Keshava? Those who know him. So at the same time, Prabhupada would very often add something to the name Keshava. And sometimes he give a completely different name if there is Krishna Avatar or something. He'd add something to it usually. So today, on behalf of Srila Prabhupada, we're very privileged. I feel, I don't know why, I feel very fortunate to have this opportunity to connect you to Prabhupada and the Parampara disciple succession officially. And he brought his own beads, offered his own beads to the deities, or somebody did. Don't be too keen. Quite that way. Hare Krishna. So, along those lines, we added something to the name, but not the way you're expecting it to be. Your name is Achyuta Keshava. lotus feet to the deities. Always remember the deities, the lotus feet of Krishna. Achyuta Keshava Prabhu Ki Jai! I don't think it needs explaining what that means. Servant of Achyuta Keshava. Who is Achyuta Keshava?
Krishna.
Krishna. Name of Krishna. Keshav. What does Achyuta mean? Infallible. Please stay close to that infallible Lord. You will never fall down or speak of lotus feet in your heart. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we'll proceed now. I have one Brahmin thread, where are the plates for the yogya? The grains. Have you got your grains in front of you? You've got the grains. So don't put this in the fire, but we'll put the Brahmin thread on the plate just for being there for the yogya. Someone can put this on the plate. A Brahmin, a male Brahmin, a male Brahmin. Any male Brahmins here? Yeah, I'll have to get it. Here they come. All the way from Brisbane. Haribol. So we're going to proceed now with the yajna. Is there anything else? Just like mentioned now, please, a little kirtan somewhere, sweet kirtan. 4 books, Shastras, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar Devotion, they would be nice, or whatever you've got, Brahma Samhita, something else. You want to read?
Yeah.
Okay, give Rinda a book. Where are the books?
Rita.
Somebody quickly has to work on this. Otherwise I'll do it myself. Are there books in the temple or not? Okay, one book, one over there, please. One over there. One over here. Rinda, come here. You're reading here. Give her a book. One over in that corner. One over in that corner. Men or women, it doesn't matter. In the corners. No. In the over there on the corner. One here. Come behind me. I can offer 2 if you wish. Yeah, I'll come forward. And during the ceremony, Nanda Maharaj will be chanting mantras and we'll be repeating some of them. And offering, of course, grains will be going on by the candidates. And the kirtan, sweet kirtan, will going on, not too loud, not too close, so it doesn't override his chanting. 2 of you are going to do great. Have we got the 4 readers on the 4 corners? Because in that pastime of Bali Maharaj, Shukracharya at the end of the pastime, after Bali had been cursed to go down to the lower planets, Shukracharya was asked by Lord Vishnu what was his fault. Shukracharya said, "My Lord, this was all you were doing." He had no fault. He chanted your name. Mantatas tantatas chidram deha kalaha vastudaha. Even if everything's wrong, the paraphernalia is wrong. We've got aluminium there. We haven't got the proper paraphernalia for the yoga officially, but that's how it is in Kali Yuga. Nothing's going to be perfect. Nothing is perfect. The time, the direction, the mantras, the place, the audience, there's going to be faults. There's going to be chidram everywhere. Faults in everything. Unavoidable. Kalerdo Shanade Raja, Nastyeka Mahamana. Faults in Kali Yuga everywhere. But, Tava Sankadam, Anu Sankadam Tava, if the holy name is chanted, Shukracharya said, everything becomes Nischidram, faultless. So during all sacrifices, Prabhupada writes in the purport, the chanting should go on to make everything pure. So please do quietly join in, or whatever it is according to the circumstances of the chanting, or repeat when Nanda Maharaj Prabhu chants the mantras, we'll repeat Nama, we all go Nama, Om, Om, like that. Make a very powerful sound vibration to purify our hearts. And especially the candidates, please bless them, that they will be faithful and dedicated to Srila Prabhupada's mission throughout their whole lives. Hare Krishna. So Nanda, you may need the microphone now. I'm glad you got the fire extinguisher here. I've never seen a fire yoga before, not right next to the priest anyway. So I'm going to sit up here as well. And if you touch your toes, if you touch your legs, if you touch your nose, you can touch your mouth, you can touch your ears, you can touch your eyes, you can touch anything, you may need to do action. Put the beads around your neck.
Oh! Hare
Krishna Padaya Krishna Krishna.
Who's going to say Pranam Mantra?
Thank you, Guru. Thank you. Welcome. Very good. Very good. Hey, nice, huh?